Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube citizens. Hey, I'm just want to just share a testimony about Pastor Dowell. This is for all the men and for women, but this is for the men. You need to find a man of Yah like Pastor Dowell. And I can tell you right now, I have been from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, and I'm going to tell you, I have not seen any man like Pastor Dowell. Pastor Dowell is truly a Jeremiah 3:15 pastor. This man will teach you how to be a man, how to lead your home. All these churches have effeminate men teaching men how to be effeminate like themselves. No student is greater than his teacher. No student is greater. You only are going to become like your teacher. Pastor Dowell will teach you how to be a man. I lost my family because all the pastors that I've ever had in my life were all effeminate men, and they were training me and gearing me towards being submitted to a woman. And that is why I lost my children. I lost my children because the pastors and in the Christian community that I've ever been a part of never taught me how to be a man. They took me away from the things of God. And when I start reading that Bible myself, the more I kept on seeing there's a difference between what's in this book and what these preachers are preaching. And 99% of these preachers are not preaching the word. But a lot of you men are not reading the word. If you were to start reading the word for yourself, you will start being able to hear a different beat, a drum beat. But no. You just end up solely depending on these pastors that have all these things behind their names, these MDivs and degrees or whatever, which means nothing. Pastor Dowell is a man who is wise beyond his years. Wise. Literally taking boys and turning them into men. And some of you out there are men 40, 50 years old that are still acting like boys. Just like I was. Trying my best to figure this thing out. I wish I would have had Pastor Dowell. If I would have had Pastor Dowell as my pastor, I would have not lost my family. I literally went to I'll use two comparisons. Mike LeClaire, the old pastor that, I can't even call him a pastor, but Mike LeClaire, the church that I used to go to, I literally went to him and told him that my wife is being insubordinate. And you know what he told me to do? Wash her feet, serve her. Just serve her until she can't help but to submit to you. And what did she do? She got worse. But then what do I expect? He's an effeminate man. He's submitted to his wife. He can't even do all that he wants to do because he's a woman pleaser. He's not a Yah pleaser. He is a woman pleaser. He's even told me that himself. That first lady over there in that church at Living Hope Church in Green Bay, Pastor Mike LeClaire, she does not care about the people. She cares about herself. She wished her husband wasn't even the pastor. She doesn't even like the fact that he takes so much time to even preach the little time that he does, which is not even much. And then we have Pastor Dowell and Sister Carol, Sister Carol is about her husband's business. Her desires, her husband's desires. She desires what her husband desires. She helps him accomplish his goal. Pastor Dowell is giving us some type of tip, and he's in the middle of doing construction, working on a big machine, but takes the time to be able to give a word of wisdom to us saints, to us men. That's the type of pastor I have. And I'm telling all of you people that if you listen to my words, get out of these wicked churches. They do not care about your soul. All they care about is your money. That's all they care about. They do not care if you spend the rest of eternity in hell. Pastor Dowell, I know people from all over the world that comes all the way to the United States, to Tennessee, to come and see Pastor Dowell. I've been there 4 times. Pastor Dowell's been to my house once. I talk to him a lot on the phone, communicate. This man is the real deal. All he cares about is helping people to have an amazing walk with Yeshua, with Jesus Christ. He really is about people being righteous and holy and set apart people. These other pastors that care about your money. I've been in churches And the only time I never even needed a lot of their help. And when I did need their help, they all abandoned me. They turned their back on me. But all they did was just make merchandise of me, fleece me. And my wife is concerned that, that Pastor Dowell's trying to take advantage of me. That all he's doing is trying to help me because of money. And a lot of reasons why a lot of times I did get taken advantage of. Why? Because I allowed myself to, because I didn't want to miss out on what Yah could be doing. And Pastor Dowell has the same opportunity as all these pastors, and he has given more to me than all these churches I've ever been to. Ever. With no string attached. There is one condition, that I'm a commandment keeper, that I truly desire to follow Yah. So every relationship has conditions. And Pastor Dowell will literally give the shirt off his back to help a brother out. Literally. People say, well, Kabir, you're KGB. You're a Packer player. What do you expect? He just do that just for you. I just talked to my brother Jim out of Racine, Wisconsin. I remember the first time when I got in contact with brother Jim, and I told him I'm going to be visiting Tennessee to go see Straightway. And brother Jim, I'd never seen him. I've only talked to him by phone. And I don't even think he knew who I was at the time. But he was telling me about his experience at Straightway. Talked about, they're going to put you in the guest suite. Man, the hospitality is off the chain. Man, they checked he was telling me he was just telling me his story, how they checked his car to make sure he had enough air in his tire, to make sure he had enough oil so that he can get back on the road. He was telling me stuff. I'm like, who does this? Just from what he was telling me, it was amazing. And I don't even know who this guy is. And then all of a sudden, I get to Tennessee. I come. And he was right. The hospitality is off the chain. I have talked to people who say they do not like Pastor Dowell, or they do not like how he speaks. More about this, they didn't like how he speaks. They didn't like how strong he speaks. But they couldn't even deny the hospitality. They could not deny it. They could not deny that he is a nice man, but they do not like his presentation of how he shares, how he preaches. But they can't deny that the hospitality is off the chain. Literally. So then you got my brother Jim telling me about this stuff, and I experienced the same thing this man was talking to me about. And then at that time when I went down there, I'm driving a 2015 Cadillac. And for some reason on that day, as hot as it was, my air conditioner goes out. And it was hot. I'm talking about, I'm sweating. Even with the windows down, it wasn't doing me enough. I'm thinking I spent all this money on a car like this, and the air conditioner ain't working. And so I get down there. Pastor Dowell said, well, one of the saints can fix it. One of the brothers can fix it. They literally was trying to, and I said, you know something, I'm good, I can make it, out, because it was under warranty and I didn't want anything to happen, but they were willing to help me get my car right before I hit the road. It's just off the chain. Literally off the chain. Everything Brother Jim told me was just that and some. And then I finally meet Brother Jim in December when he finally came to my house, because Pastor Dowell came into town. And I remember we were trying to, say some of the saints are going to stay at the house. And Pastor Dowell was trying to make sure he made accommodations for Brother Jim, because I didn't know Brother Jim at the time. I'd never met him. I just talked to him by phone. And he said, hey, this spot may be better for Brother Jim. He's a big guy. I'm like, oh, okay, he's a big guy. I don't know. I'm a big guy. Who knows a big guy? And then when I meet Brother Jim is a big guy, over 400 pounds. Over 400 pounds. And I don't say this in any disrespect. I actually talked to him and told him. But what I'm trying to show you is Pastor Dowell did that for a man in Racine, a 400-pound man, and I was treated the same way he was treated. Everything he described to me is how I got treated. And it was off the chain. I felt the love for me. I felt the love for you. It was just off the chain. It's not like Pastor Dowell said, oh, I'm going to choose him. No, gave him the same type of dignity. Pastor Dowell is the real deal. The real deal. I can't even, I'm just focusing on just stories, because I cannot tell you all of the good things about Pastor Dowell in one. I'm not, because I want people to actually hear what I have to say about this man. This man is a man of Yah. He is a Jeremiah 3. He says, I'll give you pastors according to my heart who will feed you knowledge and understanding. That is Pastor Dowell. And this is a pastor that you can talk to him about anything from sex to relationships to anything. Anything. Pastor Dowell is prepared to give an answer for the hope that he has. When I try to call Pastor Mike LeClaire, and forgive me for calling him a pastor, but when I try to call that so-called pastor at Living Hope Church, he's either on the golf course, he's either hiding in his office, or he's either on vacation. That's what he does. He's a retired school teacher, a public school teacher, just sitting on his fat ass, just making money, living off his retirement and making money off of the church. That's it. It was given to one teacher to another teacher. They're just passing, hey, this is a good gig, you take it now. They don't care about those, they don't care about the soul, and then they turn that church into a liberal church, a egalitarian church. But nothing that's in the Bible. They have yet to still tell me what my sin is. Nothing concrete at all. So guys, I just want to tell you, man, Pastor Dowell is the most, this pastor truly loves Yah's people. He truly loves Yah people. I've been to many churches before, given special privileges from many churches before. Pastor Dowell will rebuke me. He will correct me. Hands down, this ministry is full of rebuke and correction if you walk in it. If you walk into that and you make that type, you will be corrected. You will be checked. This is not a ministry where they kiss your ass. They don't do that. They love you too much enough to allow you to go the wrong way. When they see you going the wrong way, they'll check you and help you to go back in the right way. So guys, I just want to tell you, Pastor Dowell is an amazing pastor. I don't know any pastor in the world that's like Pastor Dowell. Maybe there's somebody. All I can tell you is what I've seen. I've been all the way from the East Coast, church in San Diego called the Rock Church. Look it up. I'll put the YouTube in there. Mega money. They have all the money in the world. Millions of dollars coming to that church. I've seen that church birth out of San Diego State. Pastor Miles McPherson. Matter of fact, I had an assignment that he gave me a year ago about the role of a woman. I did the assignment, never returned my phone call. But I never even I never went to that church on a regular basis and gave them more money than I gave Pastor Dowell, that I've given us straightway. Way more money. But nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And that church has I remember one year we went on a vacation to San Diego. We drove all the way to San Diego. I took all my 7 children in there. And the first thing they did when I came in, they stopped me at the door and asked me, how old is these children? That young children cannot be in the main sanctuary. My family got rejected. We came here to worship. I said, my children, they said, how old is this? I said, he's old enough. He's old enough. Keep on going. What do you mean how old he is? My children, we can sit in church and listen and not be a disturbance. My children are not these. And they said, well, you have to go into this room with a bunch of wild children running around trying to hear the service. Are you kidding me? It was so cold. But they got this nice elaborate building. But just cold people just walking around. I'm new at the church. It was so bad that I literally said, I'm not coming back to this church. Literally. But you can go to, I see children at Straightway. Children, mother, father. Everyone can come in there, old, young. So people, I'm here to tell you, Pastor Dowell is a good pastor. He truly is about Yah's business. He is truly has a love for Yah's people. And he loves them so much that he tells them the truth, even when it cuts. And he does not spare. He will cut you up with that word because that is love. So anyway, this is a part 1 or whatever. But I got to figure out whatever. But I just wanted to tell you, I just heard something on Patreon that Pastor Dowell put out there talking to all the saints on Patreon. I mean, this man is the real deal. I love Pastor Dowell. If you guys are in these effeminate churches, come out of her, my people. Come out. Come out. If you truly want to have a true walk with Yeshua, Get out of these churches. All right. Blessings. I hope this stimulates thought. And I'm going to continue giving more testimonies about this man because people need to know about Pastor Dowell. I want to see as many people coming out of those wicked churches, those satanic, effeminate churches to come out. If you're looking for a place, you have a place here at Straightway. There is a place. If you truly want to walk. But trust me, I've been here long enough. I've been here long enough now. It's been almost a year now. And I've seen people leave because of offense. I've seen people leave. So this is not no, recruiting trip and it's all good. I've seen the good and the bad. I've seen even before I even came on the thing. I remember there was a time where Pastor Dowell, where a guy came out in front and literally was putting his foot in his mouth. I mean, it was about to be a fight and it was right there on the screen. I'm like, they still recording. And I'm here looking, and the way Pastor Dowell, I may have to say it for him, but the way he handled himself, I mean, this was not orchestrated in any way. This was real time. And Pastor Dowell took a bad situation. He took a bad situation and turned it into a teachable moment. I'm telling you, that was almost a year ago. I think it was in August. And I'm telling you, I was blown away how he was able to take a very hostile situation and turn that into a teachable moment. It just blew my mind. I've never, ever seen a pastor do that in my whole entire life. I'm telling you, Pastor Dowell is off the chain. God, I can't make this thing up. I'm just telling you because it will be wrong for me to keep this thing to myself. I want everyone to know that there's freedom. You can, the word came to set the captives free. You don't have to be stuck in these dead churches, these dead Christian church. They're not preaching the word. They're leading people to hell. The blind is leading the blind straight into the pit of hell. Come out of her. Read the word for yourself. You can ask Pastor Dowell any question. He will not be intimidated. He will be prepared to give an answer for the hope that you have, that he has. He will be prepared. Some of these pastors, they're running for me in Green Bay. None of these Christians want to hang out with me. I'm talking about pastors and people in leadership. They don't take my calls. They don't want to talk to me because they are afraid of the word. Pastor Mike LeClaire said it himself, that none of these pastors want to talk to me because they are afraid of me because they don't want to handle, they can't handle that word because the word is not in them like it is in Pastor Dowell, like it's in me. But it's more in Pastor Dowell. I'm learning from him, so I don't put. But anyway, let me just calm down. I'm going to do multiple videos as I'm inspired to tell you about this great man, Pastor Charles Dowell Jr. This is just the tip of the iceberg about this man. But I just wanted to share this story because I just saw a Patreon and I was just inspired to say, this is why I love this man. This man gives you tools to actually go home, concrete tools that you can go home and actually put it to use and not some of this abstract thinking that you don't even know what to do with it. But something that actually is practical, that actually helps to build your house. So anyway, I hope this stimulated thought. Please take warning. Take warning. Now, if you Israelites ever seen this, then you know what I'm talking about. And some of you guys in these Israelite camps, bro, this ministry has power. They cast out devils. I've seen that. They healed, they lay hands on the sick and they become healed. I have been healed. Pastor Dowell put his hands on me, looked me in my eyes, and cast out that sickness, and I was healed. I've experienced that. I am not an actor. I am not an actor. I know what I experience. I have seen people who couldn't walk who walk. I've seen speaking in tongues. I've heard testimonies of people just the Holy Spirit. So I know it still goes on. They said that's done away with. That's a lie. So anyway, let me end here. Because like I said, I can go on forever about Pastor Dowell. But I'll stop here. This is just the beginning of my testimony about Pastor Dowell. I would just call it part one because I want to give it just my testimony, Pastor Dowell, part one, and it'll just continue going. And let's see how many I can get out there. All right, blessings, shalom, shalom.